Good day everyone, and welcome to a new video of Crypto Michael. Today we're going to discuss mages as it's Mages Saturday, and therefore we can also discuss them given that we've seen a significant move yesterday, and we'll get to that point later in this video. First of all, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel or like beneath. That's helping me a lot. Thank you for that. Also, please follow me on Instagram as we're going to make some good content on that platform as well. Essentially, it's going to be tips and tricks. So what we've seen yesterday is a slight corrective move, given that we've seen euro dollar correcting. That's euro dollar is not a cryptocurrency, unfortunately, and I've got the wrong one. Euro dollar is correcting as it's acting inside a resistance zone, and it dropped significantly down yesterday, looking like we might see some more downwards momentum on euro dollar. Essentially, if we lose the level of 173, I expect the dollar to be a little bit more strength in the coming period, DXI to bounce up a little, and once the DXI starts to bounce up, the usually occurrence is that gold, silver and Bitcoin start to correct. And we've seen a slight correction already yesterday on these commodities. Silver, very volatile movements, with slight correction here, which essentially also caused Bitcoin to drop down a little bit. But we're going to discuss Ethereum today, so we'll stick to that one as it also dropped a little. And then the overall conversation I saw on social media is, are you buying the dip already? Essentially, if you want to buy the dip on a 1 hour time frame, 2 hour time frame, that's great. I mean, you can day trade them, you can make profits on it. That's obviously fine if you want to trade that. But if you want to make a new swing trade position, you usually want to end up with waiting for a larger and longer time frame corrective move. So it can take weeks until something hits the levels that you want to be seeing as potential support levels, and therefore you don't want to essentially buy the dip when it's just a short-term relief bounce, as it can dry up your liquidity, and you will need the liquidity when you essentially want to make that deep buy on lower levels, which is very obvious, very easy. Just place the limit buys and you will be fine. So patience, discipline, portfolio management, and not feeling the need to constantly buying the dip when it's just 5% lower. So don't get tricked in that strategy, as it can take some longer time. If you see the daily time frame on the ETHUSD, you can see that we're currently inside a resistance zone, which used to be the support level before the heavy breakdown of the summer of 2018. The block is still acting as resistance zone, as we can see. We did not break through it, and that's very likely given that we have broken through 250 and essentially went vertical. And when something goes vertical, it is very unlikely that we're going to break through such a resistance zone in one try. So the most likely, in healthy cases, what you want to see is a correction. So you want to see a consolidation period, just like we've seen here at $250, in which we test previous levels, test the resistance zone some more times, get compression, get strength, and then once we break out, we start to make a very heavy bullish move, which we essentially have seen in the past few weeks. And then it's also not the best strategy to becoming bullish in the area between 380 to 450 when something went up 2x already. If you want to lose your money or your portfolio, then you want to become bullish in these areas. But essentially, if you don't have a position in these zones, I would not be looking for a short until you see clear confirmation, and I would definitely not be looking for longs, as the levels down are way further down than you would be expecting. So where do you place your stop loss if you buy at 385 if you see on the daily time frame only support at 350? I mean, that's just a way too wide stop loss, and given that we've seen such a significant vertical run, it seems very likely that we're just going to see more correction as the liquidity is beneath us rather than above us. So what we see right here is essentially the resistance zone at $400 to 420. The first big support level is drawn between $305 and $325. I'll be deploying longs over there already. We also have a support zone at the 280 level, 275 to 290, which is essentially the best buy zone for me. And we do have the level at 250, which I seem less likely to be buying or seeing as a retest after such a big move as we have seen right now, given that this level at 250 is such a easy to see, easy to spot level that probably everyone would have their orders there, which makes it less likely that we're going to get that level as its front run. So on the higher time frame, we can see that we've got a heavy resistance zone, and these are the major support zones that I'll be interested in taking longs. If we do break through $413, then I'll be interested in getting the longs when we flip the level, but that could also still be a fake out. So if I see a breaker up here and we're going to consolidate above resistance, then I probably won't still be very interested in longs. I'll just see how a retracement is going to go, and probably short if we break down below 413. So if we take the ETH/USDT chart and we take the lower time frame, we can see that we essentially lost a crucial level. We were bouncing at the 392 level, lost it, dropped all the way down towards the support zone, tested that zone for support again, and given that we've tested that support zone, it's very likely that you're going to retest the previous levels for confirmation of resistance, and then the ranging starts. So if we can't break through this 393 level in one go, it seems very likely that we're going to test 380. If we can't hold 380, we're going to test these lows here, and then we have to see how strong the bounce is going to be after that level. So if we get a drop down towards 367, only bounce towards 380 and immediately come back towards the support zone, it seems very likely that we're going to see a further corrective move, and then you're going to spot levels like 330 to 340 as first. However, if we do see a strong bounce and flip 380 in one go, it seems likely that we might be tapping for some highs here. Overall, range bound movements, and more likely that we're going to see downside at this point for me rather than further upside. So I had a short, got TP1, and that TP1 I'm going to look for to be shorting back in essentially around these zones of 390 to 395, and invalidation is essentially above 405. Then there's chart of XRP. That's a very blurry chart. Let's take another one that I've not been using too much, so that's making it easier. Also, I've been tweeting about XRP. People were becoming bullish in this area, and that's usually what you see. People become bullish in resistance zones and bearish in short support zones, which I find quite odd, to be honest. Alright, so resistance zone, as you can see, I'll make it red, and essentially there are some support levels which are defining the range we are acting in right now, which is the 28 cent zone, which essentially is also the first level that you should become interested in taking any longs. The second one is defined around 25 cents, and the third one is around 21 cents. So if you want to take some longs on XRP, you definitely want to look for the longs around 25 cents. If we don't hold there, 28 cents, sorry, if we don't hold there and we lose the support level for a simple reason, you'll be looking at 24 cents on the next one, and then 21 cents. These two are the ones for swing trades if we get there, and essentially if we get towards 24 cents, I'll be heavily and happy inclined to be taking longs. Then XRP BTC, I don't know how this chart is looking, but essentially it's doing what you want to see, you want it to be seen doing. Back into the range, and you want to see it hold the range low. So we've rejected at resistance, which I've been tweeting as well, and you want to see support hold at 2400 sats, which essentially is happening, and if we drop down towards 2250, that's even better. Overall, we are above the 100-day and 200-day MA, which makes it clear that dips are for buying. which makes it also likely that once we break through the 2800 sats, it's very likely we're going to run to 4800 sats. Then finally ONT/USDT, which essentially is lagging behind, but as you have seen on Ethereum USDT, it's nicely hopping these levels and now consolidating before a heavy breakout is ready to occur. Also you can see it's above the 100-day and 200-day MA, and given that we have been flipping every previous resistance zone for support, which usually happens in these grinds before the acceleration starts, we've also seen that 62 to 65 became support, and we have been testing 78 cents many times, which makes it very likely that once we test 78 cents again, we will get an Ethereum-like move, in which the first target zone is $1 to 110 and the second target zone is $1.40. So this is a small update on these three majors. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Major Saturday, and I'll be back tomorrow with a new episode of Altcoins Sunday. Have a great weekend.